Welcome to Rad Builds, everyone. Today I'm going to show you how I made the Hammer of Thor. Yes, it does light up with lightning, so that's pretty cool. And this will be a step-by-step video on how you can make this prop, and you can easily follow along with because there are templates in the description. So, let's get started. For this build I used leather, poster board, cardboard, 2mm and 4mm foam, clear plastic, a hot glue gun, contact cement, super glue, scissors, an X-Acto knife, a pencil, a circle cutter which isn't necessary but it made my life easier, a ruler, silver spray paint, black paint, paintbrush, scotch tape, and the blue LEDs which you can buy through the link in the description. I also used 3/4 inch PVC pipe and silver duct tape. The last thing you will need is the free template in the description which can be put together using some scotch tape like this. After that I just used some scissors and cut out every piece in the pattern. After that you can trace and cut out the pattern from the material that is marked on the pattern. Now you'll notice this box tells you whether to score or to cut something. And I'll do a demonstration of scoring on piece number 10. So you'll see this dotted line on piece number 10, and what you'll do is use an X-Acto knife and cut about halfway through the poster board. Once that is done, you can bend the poster board along the score line. And you'll repeat this process along the rest of this piece and all the others. Now you'll notice on piece number 1 it has all these little detail lines. And if you want, you can cut each one of those individually out 8 times. But since I didn't want to, I decided to use my handy dandy millimeter tool set, which by the way is an ingenious invention. If you don't have this, I recommend you buy it, and I'll leave a link to it in the description. But anyway, what I did is tape on the paper piece number 1 over top of the detail lines. Once that was done, I used a pencil and I colored over top of the details. While doing this, I made sure to really press in the spots where the details weren't protruding. Once I was done, I removed the paper from the hammer and I also took off the tape. After that, I used some liquid super glue and I covered the entire back side of the piece number 1. This is to help make sure that the details stay protruding from the rest of the paper. And then after that, I just flipped the piece over and let it sit on the clear plastic. Once that was dry, I just cut out the piece, and then you can repeat this process 7 more times. After that, I scored runes around the perimeter of the top of piece number 2. After that, I went ahead and spray painted pieces 3, 4, and 5 silver to make life easier later on. Now it's time to start putting things together. So first, I went ahead and glued piece number 4 onto piece number 6. After that, the piece number 7s were glued over top of piece number 4, covering the gaps. Now you can glue on both the piece number 5s onto the ends of piece number 8. Now glue on only one of the piece number 9s on top of one of the piece number 5s. Now we can put the 2 pieces we've been working on together by putting some glue onto one of the ends of piece number 4 and putting that onto piece number 9. And make sure to leave about 1/8 of an inch gap. Now you will need to glue all of the piece number 1s onto both of the piece number 10s and make sure the details are facing outwards. Once you've finished that, you can use some tape. It doesn't have to be masking, it can be scotch tape or duct tape or whatever you want. But tape all of the edges together, and then I used some super glue and then added glue lines all along the seams. Once you have finished this, you can take off the tape. Now you will need to glue on piece number 3 onto the back of piece number 2. And once this is dry, you can glue that onto piece number 8. Now it's time to draw the lightning, and I just used a pencil and marked out all the spots where I wanted the lightning to come through. So to make the lightning, I'm just going to use some liquid super glue and draw lines all along my pencil lines. And I made sure to also add the Mjolnir symbol onto one side. This will need to be done on all of the poster board pieces. Now to make sure that the lightning doesn't come out of unwanted places, I just used a gray permanent marker and colored everywhere I didn't want the lightning to come through. After that, I glued on some fragments of spray painted silver cardboard onto the permanent marker spaces. This helps to strengthen the poster board so it's not just flimsy and easy to break. And it also helps to better reflect the lights on the inside of the hammer. I also added these foam pieces to where the PVC pipe is going to fit, and those just help it so it doesn't move around when it's inside the hammer. I did it on both the top and the bottom. I also went ahead and spray painted both the piece number 11s silver. Now I'm going to glue on the other piece number 9 onto the other side of piece number 4. And then now I can finally glue on the flaps of cardboard with some hot glue. And then quickly after that, I added some super glue onto the piece number 9 and attached it to the other piece number 5. Now you can glue on both the piece number 11s onto the sides of the assembly we've just been working on. Now that it's been spray painted and the PVC pipe has been put in, it's time to glue on the leather. Whoa, 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 whoa. You were just here, like fragments and stuff. Now you're here. It's like spray painted and has lights. I'm sorry if that was your reaction because when I was recording, I kind of forgot to record. I know, right? But anyways, please don't panic because I'm still going to go back through the steps on how I put this thing together, spray painted it, put all the lights in. But if you do want some further explanation on how to install lights, you can watch my Stormbreaker video and it does go into a bit more detail. But anyways, let's get back to the build with explanations. So I spray painted this box silver, and this box is nice because it has an easy opening. And I placed the battery pack inside. And you notice this trigger here? This goes through this hole in the box, and that way it sticks out. And I put a barrier so it wouldn't fall through the box. But when I shake the hammer, the battery pack will shake and it'll turn on the lights. I also went ahead and glued some old batteries onto the other side of the hammer to even out the weight. That's it for the inside of the box, so you can stick that trigger into the hole and then close it up. Once that was done, I wrapped the LEDs all around the box, and I made sure on this side the LEDs only came over this side of the flap so that I could still open it and close it. After that, I placed the silver box into the poster board piece and then slid the 15.5 PVC pipe through the hole of the poster board and then through the holes of the box up into the top of the hammer. Then I glued on that end onto that side, and then this end I only put some hot glue onto the corners. That way when I need to change out the batteries I can pretty easily pull it off. After that, I put some contact cement onto the inside of some leather, and then also put some contact cement onto the PVC pipe, and then when that was dry, I wrapped the leather around the PVC pipe. Piece number 12 is cut out of duct tape and then wrapped around the leather 10 times, and these rings were spread out about an inch apart. I added some super glue to piece number 13 and then wrapped that around the leather closest to the hammer. Then I added some super glue to piece number 14 and wrapped that over top of piece number 13 and the leather. The score line will be closest to the hilt of the hammer, and the fatter part will be facing the top of the hammer. I glued on piece number 16 around the edge of piece number 15 and then glued that to the hilt of the hammer. Then I used a brown permanent marker and colored the back side of the leather strap. Then I fed it through the hole in the PVC pipe that I made earlier, and then fed that through the hole in the piece number 15 and into the PVC pipe. Then I used some super glue and glued the other side of piece number 15 onto the hilt. I didn't show this, but I also scored some details onto the larger parts of piece number 15. After that, I poured in some hot glue into the end of the hilt to keep the leather strap in place, and then I glued on piece number 17 on top. I taped off everything that I didn't want to be spray painted, and then spray painted the foam pieces with a coat of black plasti-dip spray paint and then a coat of silver spray paint. Now it's also worth mentioning that when I spray painted the head of the hammer, I spray painted it with a very, very thin coat of silver to make sure that the lights can come through. Now you could leave the hammer like that, but I decided I needed to blackwash it because Thor's hammer has been through a lot of action. So to do this, I just mixed some black paint and water, and then I coated the entire hammer with this mixture, including the handle. Once you finish that step, the hammer is complete. If you decide to make this prop using this video, you can send me a picture or tag me on Instagram at radbuilds3000. Thank you for watching, everyone. Please like this video and subscribe and hit that notification bell to hear about any of my new video releases. If you want to check out some of my old videos, you can find every single one of them on my channel, Rad Builds.